Okay, John here. In this video, I finally have made a choice on theme selection, and I'm actually going to go with the Genesis framework with the executive. Now, I know that that's a paid theme, and you might want to use a free theme. I showed you how to search free themes. There's one other little cool search feature you can use that I didn't use in the last video, and that is just type in a business like that and you can leave everything else blank and it'll show up quite a few. Now here's the reason I'm going to build the site with the premium. A lot of the information, I'm going to try to keep it as generic as possible, not specific to the theme I'm using, so that you can follow along and apply what I'm doing to whatever theme you use. The other reason is I installed about 5 or 6 free themes from this page here. So we've got a lot of good business results here, and a lot of them look nice. Here's the deal. Um, Pretty much all of them have an upgrade option, and in order to get really the key features that I want to use on the site and that you'll want to use on the site, you're going to have to upgrade to a pro and pay for it. Especially if you just want to remove the design by link in the footer. And I don't blame them. These people spend a lot of time in developing these, so I don't blame them one bit. But really what that means is if I'm going to use any of these themes, I'm going to want to upgrade, and then I'm basically using a premium theme that you may or may not use. So I'm going to stick with StudioPress because it's my favorite platform, particularly for SEO and the way that it's set up. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try to keep it as generic as possible. So that said, by all means, check out these themes. You don't have to go with StudioPress like I do, and there's lots of other premium theme providers. I also like Elegant Themes, has some real beauties there, and Theme Forest offers a ton of good themes. So what I'm going to do here in this video is I'm going to set up my plugins. All right, plugins are snippets of code, and they add features and functionality to your site. We want to, these are not activated. I don't want to activate Jetpack either. So I don't use a lot of plugins on my basic business sites. The ones that I do use are right there, and I'll just, we'll get started here. I'm not going to make you watch me load all the plugins. I'll just do one. You can see how it's done, and then I'll just load them up and show you which ones I use so you can note them down. But here we'll just step through installing one. So Google XML sitemaps. I like this because it creates a sitemap of your site that submits it to search engines. Super easy. I don't really have to do anything. It does it automatically. So I will install this, and it's free. All of the plugins I'm going to use are free. And there we are. We're installing. And then you activate. And we're good to go. And you're going to find most of your plugins are going to show up here. Some might show up under tools, and some might have their own menu down here. So that's how you got to sort of dig around and look for them. We've got our sitemaps all set up here, and this is a great plugin. I use it, I think, on every, look at that. My blog is currently blocking search engines. I wanted to do that because we aren't ready to launch. But here's our sitemap. If you want the URL of the sitemap, here it is, right there. And so I can take that and I can create a link to it in our footer so that there's access to a sitemap on every page. I'm going to go back. I'm going to add all the plugins that I'm going to use, and then I'll show you those. I'll be right back. I'm back, and I've installed all the plugins I'm going to use at this point. I may install more down the road. You can always add more and delete them. So I have A's Dig alternative. What this is it provides a little sharing module here on every page, as if I was on my site. It's, you got LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. buttons that people can use to share your content. It floats along with your content. Genesis responsive slider. This is so I can activate the slideshow. Regardless of which business theme you use, there is going to be, probably the most frustrating part will be getting your slideshow at the top of the home page going. You have to dig around and try to find the image size you need, and there's going to have to be some way that it's going to be added. So Genesis makes it fairly easy with the responsive slider. Every theme that has a slideshow, there's a trick to getting the slideshow going. So Unfortunately, I can't show you for every theme how to do that for your particular theme. Simple hooks, this is just, you don't have to worry about that. It's for Genesis specifically. I probably won't even need that here. Google XML sitemaps, we already went over that. You definitely want to get that added. Tiny MC Advanced, what this does, it provides more editing options, like I can add tables and posts and pages. And WP Super Cache, that makes it so that my site loads faster. It's a caching plugin. When you install this, you're going to actually have to go to the it'll give you a red alert at the top that you haven't set it, so it'll be default to caching off. You're gonna have to set it to caching on. Really popular caching plugin, tons of people use it. So those are the plugins I get started with. Now there's one more you might want, and I'll show you that. I'm not going to use it on this site because I'm going to use a different tool to do the same thing, and it's Contact Form 7. I use this plugin a lot to create a contact form. It's not an email sign up form, it's a contact form. The emails will go directly to whichever email address you specify in the back end. It works quite well. You just install it and then you take a short code. Well, why don't I just do that here? I'll just show you that just so you can see how to set up a quick contact form on your website. I'm going to use a different tool, which I'll also show you in this video quickly, for a contact form, a more advanced contact form that I like quite a bit. Here we go. I'll tell you now, I use Wufoo forms. You can use up to 3 forms for free. You can totally customize the design of the form, and it provides a code that what you do is you just embed it on any page or in the sidebar that you want. Now, I use it for a lot of my local business client websites because I can track and export all the inquiries into a database, and that's really important, for me to show my clients, my local business clients, the volume of potential leads that are coming in on the site. So I can do it for every single form, so I create multiple forms and I can track all this across a number of websites. Now, to do more than 3 forms, which I'm going to be doing, is obviously I need to upgrade to a pro account, but you can use 3 for free. I really like Wufoo for contact forms. I've never had a problem with it. They're really easy to use. But anyways, we've got the contact form set up here. Here's an example of a separate menu for contact form for a plugin. So all you do is once it's set up, really simple to set up. You can customize the fields if you want. If you don't like the default fields, you can customize it. I'm not going to go through that. It explains if you want to do that in the tutorials. But what you do need to do is just make sure when somebody fills in the form, it's going to the right email, and you can set that out right there. That's it. So once that's done, you just copy this. This is what's called, anytime you see these square brackets around a snippet of code with a plugin or some other tool with WordPress, it's called a short code. So you may hear that now and then again. And then what you do is you go to your pages. Now these auto-populated when I installed a particular theme, so I might as well go with this here and just keep it. It was a different theme that I'm not going to be using. And once you're in here, go. We'll just get rid of that. You just input the form. It's already been published, this page, so that's not a big deal. And we have, now don't worry, the site's not going to look too pretty at this point, but here we go. We've got a contact form. Probably millions of websites use this free plugin. It's a good contact form. And I just want to show you Tiny MCE Advanced. You don't have to use this. I use it for really one reason, and I like to be able to have tables. And so what I do is I slide up my tables there. There's one other font family, so I can change my font. So now I've just added a few more editing features to my little table of options when I'm creating a page. So I'm going to just quickly show you Wufoo forms. Here we go. You may have heard of them. Here it is. You get 3 forms for free. I've been using free for a long time. I'm upgrading because I need a lot more forms for tracking. And you know, it's great because you can export all the data from a specific set of date into a spreadsheet really easily. So that's why I need it. And I think the forms look nicer. But if you don't need that much heavy lifting for your business site and just need a basic contact form, that plugin I showed you will do the job. But this is free for 3 forms, so it's pretty cool. I've been using it a long time. Just wanted to show you that. And here we go. So you'll see this stuff here. If you're new, let's just go to a add new page and I'll show you where all that comes up. See, it's basically like a Word document, you know, a dumbed down Word document. So we've got these features. So we've got font size, font family, we added that. And here's our table, so we can add tables into our page, and this is where we write our content for any particular page. So that's the plugin video. There's millions of plugins, well maybe not millions, but there's tens of thousands of plugins for sure. I keep it as lean and mean as possible. Some of my sites I do end up using a lot of plugins. This is going to be a basic business website. There are a lot of other plugins you can add, and so you know, I'm just showing you the real basics here. There's plenty of them out there that you can check out.